Hello and very warm welcome at Amish Cycle 5858. I am Amish Cycle. Foreign news have been reported by European, Asian, African, Australian news channels and the news agencies. So please let's go to the headlines.
Hello and a very good morning to you. This is Sky News. These are your latest headlines. Back in prison, the Epping sex offender is once again behind bars. Sky News understands Hadush Kavatu will be deported tomorrow. The Justice Secretary confirms eyewitness testimony of the moments after his relief, which was shown on Sky News, will form part of an independent inquiry. That's as the family of the girl Kavatu was sexually assaulted expressed their fury at his accidental release.
The police, the justice system and our Labour government. News coming to you live from Berlin. Election victory for Argentina's right wing. President Javier Milei's party secures more than 40% of the vote. The win should unlock billions in US aid to boost the ailing economy. Donald Trump pushes trade and peace deals during a tour of Asia. The US president begins by meeting regional leaders in Malaysia. Next, stop Japan to forge ties with the new prime minister there. Hello, I'm Terry Martin. Thanks for joining us. We begin in Argentina, where President Javier Milei has secured a series of key victories in midterm elections. Milei's party won more than 40% of the vote, comfortably seeing off the main opposition while outperforming pre-poll forecasts. Campaigning was dominated by the economy, where Milei has succeeded in bringing down inflation with painful austerity measures. The success of his allies is expected to unlock billions in U.S. financial aid. Donald Trump pledged a rescue package, but only after a Milei election victory.
France 24 correspondents around the world.
Welcome back to Daybreak, and here are this morning's headlines. A decisive win for Argentinian President Javier Milei as voters back his economic reforms in midterm congressional elections. US President Donald Trump has congratulated Milei on the victory as Milei's Liberty Advances party won more than 40% of the vote. Sudanese paramilitaries, the Rapid Support Forces, say they have captured Al-Fashir, the last city in western Darfur under government control. The RSF has been besieging the city for the past 18 months, but government troops say they are still resisting the rebels. Jamaica braces for Hurricane Melissa, which is expected to be the most powerful storm in the Caribbean islands' history. The government has issued mandatory evacuation orders for several cities and warns that the Category 4 hurricane, which is expected to make landfall early on Tuesday, will bring massive flooding and infrastructural damage. US President Donald Trump has congratulated Argentinian President Javier Milei on his decisive victory in the midterm congressional elections, giving his controversial economic reforms vital backing. Milei's Liberty Advances party secured a 40.8% share of the vote based on 91% of votes being counted. The party will gain at least 1/3 of seats in Congress, allowing Milei to avoid vetoes of his radical libertarian measures, which have reined in inflation but implemented punishing austerity. But turnout was low for the election, the lowest in more than a decade. Charlotte News has more.
Scenes of celebration outside the headquarters of Argentina's President Javier Milei. Early results in this weekend's midterm elections showed a decisive victory for Milei's
childcare system exploited by pedophiles. An ABC investigation reveals the extent of the crisis. Prime Minister holds talks with China's Premier on the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit. The consumer watchdog sues Microsoft, accusing the software giant of misleading millions of customers. And 2 suspects arrested over the crown jewels heist at the Louvre, Paris. Hello and welcome to ABC News. I'm Joe O'Brien. A warning, this next story contains details of child abuse. A Four Corners investigation has revealed predators on the dark web are targeting children in Australian childcare centres. The number of child sex offenders on the dark web is estimated to be in the millions.
The weaknesses in childcare are being seized upon by predators online, allowing them to find each other, share strategies, and justify their actions.
We've created spaces beyond the reach of the law where child sex offenders can congregate in their millions. There's about 45,000 child sexual abuse websites just on the Tor project.
This is Asia Now.
It's 2 p.m. in Singapore and Hong Kong, 11:30 in New Delhi, and 1 o'clock in Jakarta. I'm Paul Sun. At this hour, trade and regional cohesion in focus at day 2 of the ASEAN Summit. The bloc hope to maximize benefits of their free trade agreement as this regional comprehensive economic partnership leaders summit is underway. US President Donald Trump heads to Tokyo for talks with Japan's new Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi. Top of the agenda, new investment pledges and a stronger push for Tokyo to wrap up defense spending. India and China resumed direct flights after a 5-year suspension, a move important for trade and a symbolic step as the Asian giants cautiously rebuild relations.
Billions of pounds is squandered on asylum hotels due to incompetence.
A new report has found that a series of failures allowed the cost of 10-year asylum contracts to soar from $4.5 billion to $15.3 billion.
It's also been revealed that the Home Office has failed to collect £46 million that it is being owed.
Elsewhere, David Lammy faces backlash from prison governors as he orders them to carry out extra checks on every inmate that they release.
Rachel Reeves leading a British delegation to Saudi Arabia today as she searches for economic growth with less than a month to go before the budget.
Prince Andrew will leave Royal Lodge if he can live at Frogmore Cottage, that's according to reports. He's asked for 2 homes, one for himself and one for his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson.
And it's revealed that men spend nearly £3,000 on keeping their friendships alive. That is £500 more than women. We're asking, have they become too expensive, and do you believe the figures?
Sell your friends, that's the answer, sell them. In sport this morning, lots of Premier League games yesterday saw Arsenal win and stay top and Wolves lose and stay bottom. In Scotland, Hearts are now 5 points clear after beating Celtic, and Lando Norris wins the Mexican Grand Prix and leads the Drivers' Championship now with just 4 races to go. Hello, good morning. We'll see sunny spells across the UK during the day today, with showers gradually easing from the west, but further rain does arrive in the far west then as we go into the afternoon. I'll have all the details later.
It is a Monday morning. Thank you for starting your day and your week with us. I'm Eamon Holmes.
I'm Ellie Costello and this is GB News Breakfast.
Africa News. The news.
One of Africa's smallest countries might be keeping its long-time leader for another term, or even for life. The Parliament of Djibouti voted unanimously to remove the age limit for the country's president on Sunday. The constitution previously fixed the limit at 75 years of age. The vote needs to be approved by the president himself before being confirmed in a second vote on 2nd of November. If confirmed, it means that the way is paved for current president Ismail Omar Guelleh, also known as IOG, to stay in power. Aged 77, a constitutional limit prevented him from running in the next presidential elections in April 2026. Guelleh has been president since 1999 and has since concentrated almost all power in his hands. In the last election in 2021, he was re-elected with a landslide victory of 97% of votes. Djibouti is considered an authoritarian country. Freedom of expression is severely restricted. Ivory Coast has voted. The polls have closed and votes in the presidential election are being counted, with results expected this Sunday. But for many inhabitants, the demands for the next president are simple. I want nothing but peace. Make the best man win. Nothing but peace. We simply came to fulfill our civic duty as teachers. I taught myself as a civic duty. So the children that we teach, the example must start with us. Ivory Coast's presidential election started off with some tension during the months of campaign. Current President Alassane Ouattara is seeking a fourth mandate, and key opposition candidates were barred from running. Political marches were also recently banned, and the circumstances eventually sparked protests across the country, leaving the population to clash with police in the streets. 5 candidates ran in the end, but many analysts see Ouattara retain his grip on power once all votes are counted. For 1 month already, young Moroccans have been taking to the street to protest against rising costs for education, healthcare, and the authoritarian government in the country. Known as Gen Z 212, the movement has been organizing peaceful and widespread protests across Morocco in order to put pressure on the authorities. A local NGO said before the weekend that the protests have resulted in 1,500 prosecutions of people who participated. An estimated 1,000 individuals are currently detained. Those facing prosecutions are reportedly accused of having committed a variety of acts, ranging from destruction of public property to organizing unauthorized protests or violence against security forces. Some protesters have already faced trial. The court of Agadir has notably sentenced 39 individuals to prison sentences ranging from 6 to 15 years. In recent days, the protests have become less frequent. The Moroccan king.
Thank you for watching Amish Shakil 5858. I am Amish Shakil. I hope you will visit again. Have a good life. Bye-bye.